Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. As you know, I've decided to record some videos 5 minutes or 10 or at most 15 minutes. In this video, I want to talk or repeat my thoughts loudly about GPU clustering, and today I was thinking about creating a farm of GPUs in over world or over a country. As it started by searching for a question in chat GPT. Let's see that. I think I started by asking something about, I think that was in Gemini, or let's see that. No, I can't find that. Maybe it was on other client. Uh, anyway, I was thinking if I can uh, provide an NVIDIA A100, which is a expensive GPU, which has for example 80 gigabyte of VRAM, by integrating and aggregating the CPUs from network, from people, from users. For example, we have 1080 NVIDIA GPUs, we have two 4090 NVIDIA. It has a lot of VRAM. It's something. It's that. I asked ChatGPT if I can achieve power of an A100. For example, it has a task running for 3 days. How long it would take done to using a farm including 10 NVIDIA 1080 and 5 3060 and 2 NVIDIA 4090, for example. And it has it calculated the teraflops which they can perform, and here as we see, for example, the A100, if maybe I pronounced the 100 in my local language, it's A100 or A100. I try to pronounce right. And by the GPUs we had, our farm, on the paper at least, we achieved about 318 teraflops, which here, for example, it's estimating to task duration on the farm about less than a day, I think. Oh no, it's yes, it's it calculated to it calculated that the time which our farm would be running would be about 4.5 hours, 5 hours, for example. But it's on paper. Um, I think, as I know, aggregating and clustering of GPUs is not something easy or something maybe as easy as we have in some platforms like OpenStack, that we cluster CPUs among, and we make a hybrid environment for servers and VPSs. But it's, as I was researching, uh, it seems that it's possible, and there are tools and distributed computing frameworks for this job. For example, Apache Spark has something for that, something called Dask, something called Ray. Docker and Kubernetes, they are now supporting GPU acceleration and GPU processing, and some other something like that was used in a lot of countries or government based jobs or scientific jobs, I think. And I think another perspective that we should consider is how we want to split or seed or distribute our task which is running. Or for example, if we have a Google Colab notebook that it's so much intensive, and for example we are self-hosting for example we are self-hosting a Jupyter notebook, how it would split the power over the network to use and consume the processing power which is needed for this computation in this Jupyter notebook. This is another perspective that I think it's maybe software based, that it needs to distribute, split, and somehow transfer parts of codes or processing calculation to each node, and then they have to process that using the user GPU and the resource we have, and then they have to response the result, and then it have to reaggregate or reshape into response. I'm just thinking loudly, and at last I've done some research, and I found there are at least some projects which they have done, and they have tried, and they are using these technologies for their, for example, here you can see in this picture that terrain model that is needed is splitted, and distributed among some workers, and they have a distributed data set for each of them. And I think I could transfer and describe what I was thinking about. For example, here ray is something, for example, it's an open source framework to build and scale your machine learning and Python application easily. Another project was Dask, parallel Python and fast and easy. Somehow it's about the splitting and paralleling, somehow, or maybe not. Maybe it's about single threading or multi-threading, as Python, I think Python is single threaded. Python default runs on a single thread, so it has to have other solution for multi-threads. Parallel for loops, big arrays, machine learning, big data. Something other was Rapids, AI GPU accelerated data science. We have Google Colabs and some other technologies I don't know about. And something really interesting for me was Solana network, which is a blockchain network. There was some suggestion in ChatGPT about the Solana based network transferring that maybe it's useful for fast environment of Solana for this project, for this clustering of GPU resources. This one was it's called render network. As you can see, distributed GPU rendering on the blockchain. This one, I think it was using, yes, it's transferring the network to Solana. First decentralized GPU rendering platform. It's interesting. And that's this session I talked about GPU clusters and distributing GPUs among GPU powers, and also maybe using other people GPUs as a farm that we can aggregate them and create a grid of power in, for example, NVIDIA CUDA powers or TruffLab, some things that they are in machine learning. Okay, I hope this was I hope that this session would be interesting for you. Thank you so much. It's about 15, and see you next time.